time, I would like to call our Chief of the Fire and Scout Executive, Mr. J.T. Dabbs III, to present our next Founders Award.
You know, this award, as we saw in the intro, is for someone who demonstrates that he or she personifies that spirit of selfless service that we saw, and we all recognize that. And as we look at our lodge, and with Vince so deservingly receiving it, and the others before have received it, we certainly see that spirit in all who have received it in our lodge. You know, in the OA itself, you know, recognize scouts and scouters who really exemplify the Scout Oath and Law. And not only in what they do in scouting, but in their daily life. And, you know, that living your life in that way, you know, provides encouragement to others. You know, and we also know that through our involvement in the Order of the Arrow, that, you know, we do things like maintaining camp traditions and promoting camp and all that we do, the summer camp, the cheerful service, you know, all those sort of things are important. But I kind of wanted to speak to one point for this honoree in terms of our camp traditions and spirit. And we have an amazing amount of tradition and spirit in the camps that we're so lucky to have in the Greater Alabama Council. And this particular recipient was a scout in our council, Eagle Scout, a camper, a staff member at Camp Arrowhead, and a longtime member of our Camp Sequoia staff. He completed the ordeal in 1960 at Camp Arrowhead. He completed his brotherhood in 1961 at Camp Indian Valley. He attained the vigil in May of 1964 at Camp Arrowhead. His vigil name is Wa Kuta, which the translation for that is shooter. I'm sure there's a story behind that. Let's go back down to history a little bit. Some of you are saying, what is Camp Arrowhead? That's not a camp that I'm familiar with. Well, Camp Arrowhead was located on Lake Mitchell, and it was used as a summer camp in our council from 1940 to 1971. Now, that camp had only 55 acres, and it was leased from the Alabama Power Company. And it was closed when the council began operating the Frank Spain Scout Reservation, which opened for summer camp, as you may know, back in 1972. And this particular person has been a fixture at that camp since 1972. So I want to share with you a couple things that recently put in a letter to this recipient as he entered into, there's a theme here, retirement, which happened with our earlier recipient. But it was, I went on to say that it was an honor to have you as a mentor, as a friend, as a co-worker, that your service to our country, both at a time of war and coming back from war and serving the Boy Scouts of America. So we see another common theme here, folks that are serving their country and serving the Boy Scouts of America. And one thought that I thought I would share with you is, many of you that know me know that I grew up working on camp staff, and it was a great experience. And I'll never forget that first weekend in the spring of 1982 when I attended my first work weekend as a camp staff member at Camp Sequoia. We loaded onto the bus, arrived at Sequoia on a Friday afternoon, and then went into what I kind of described as boot camp. When we finally slowed down for dinner that night around 10 p.m., I was kind of wondering, what in the world have I gotten myself into? But it was a wonderful experience, and that weekend began a great experience for me as a camp staffer, and kind of set me on the path which has landed me where I am today. This person has been a great employee of our council, and was a great support to me, not only when I was a camp staff member, but program director and the camp director at Sequoia. In my career, I've been blessed in serving different councils and working with some amazing volunteers and great employees through the years. And they've all amazing dedication and work ethic, but I think this person has a great example of that ethic and work and love for scouting and an amazing career serving our council. So on behalf of the National Committee of the Merrill and the Executive Committee of the Coosas Lodge 50, I proudly present this Founders Award to Harry Merrill.